Hi, now here I am in front of my tool shed. I have pulled the bike out of the garage because on our first ride of the season, when I went up to Staiths and started the season off, I'm afraid my bike developed an oil leak. Now this oil leak I noticed because of the smell. I could smell burning oil and noticed it was coming off the exhaust, which means something was dripping onto the exhaust. I have traced oil all the way up, I'll show you in a minute, coming from the oil tank. It looks like my oil tank's leaking. Now, after a bit of research, found out that these oil tanks are a bit prone to the epoxy around the sides. It's a metal oil tank, but it's epoxied together. God knows why. But that epoxy goes. So after doing this research, luckily, I ordered another tank, a second-hand one, because these bikes are old now. But yeah, let me show you what's going on. So this is where the smoke's coming from. It's coming from the bottom of the exhaust. You can see it. I don't know if you can see it on here, but there's oil pooling on the bottom of the oil pan. The skiff guard. It's all at the bottom of the engine. Trace it all the way up to here, where you can see all this burnt oil, and there's fresh oil here, and it's all fresh oil on top of the tank. And I think it's coming from somewhere around here-ish. Sorry if I can't show this very well on there, but there's just nothing but oil and stuff. So it's a new oil tank, I think. And like I say, these are metal oil tanks, but for some reason around the corners they're epoxied, and these things like to crack, and it looks like someone's had a go at repairing it there. And that's where all the oil is. So as I'm taking that off, I'll be inspecting it for other places that it could be coming from as well. But right now I'm going to drain the oil. The first thing we need to do is, this is a drain plug. We need to crack it so it's loose. Don't take it out, just crack it like that, and then just snug it back up again. Now I have got just let me get another tool. I have got the new crush washers and everything ready for it. You will need to order those. Is that the right tool? This is why I've pulled it out of the garage in front of my tool shed, so I can get to my tools. Right, so now there are Torx bolts all around it. Oh sorry, there's a Torx bolt there, sorry, and these are clipped on, so you need a pair of pliers. I'll show you that in a bit. But yeah, let's get that off. And while we're getting that off, I need to pinch the spacer here. Come on, there we go. So we don't lose that spacer in that. Now, a good trick is, when you've got all the pins out, is to put the bolt back in where it was, not to lose it. But in this case, I've just got a handy little bowl with all my nuts and that in it. Right, so these clips, you can take them off with your hand. See if I can get in a bit closer there. But it's easier just to get a pair of pliers and knock it like that. Clip out. And there's two of them. There's another one just here. Right there. and you can actually push them back on with your finger. There are two plastic washers right there. Oh, no, that one's a bit stuck, but it is there. Oh, there it is. Two plastic washers like that. Wait a minute, there you go. Take them off, and then the whole thing should start shifting. You might need a bit of back and to and fro with it, but it is shifting. Ow. That's off. Right, and then that's, just don't be too rough with it, because all these hoses and stuff, you don't want to pull them off and start a massive leak, do you? Right, so that's leaning now. Try and do this without spilling oil everywhere. Right, turn that off. That's on now. So you kind of turn it whilst putting forward pressure on it, and when you feel it start to come out, there we go, oil out. And then leave that to drip. So yeah, just to show you that down there. Oops. So that is now dripping into a bowl, and I'm starting to see bubbles. It's not. I thought that was metallic then, but it's not. It's bubbles. Thank God. Yeah. So now that's finished dripping. You can see down there, it's finished dripping now. So I can button that bolt back up and then start taking off the hoses. I am going to get drips out of the hose. Well, no, actually, no, thinking about it, I'm going to have to drain the rest of the system first before, because there'll still be residual oil in all this lot, won't there? So yeah, we'll drain that. We'll definitely drain that first. So, but we need to button this back up. So that is now buttoned up. Pop that back on there like that. Right, we'll tip the bike upright and drain the oil from the other side. Oh, I have to take the crash pan off as well, the skiff pan, because that's where the oil bolt is underneath. So yeah, we'll have to do that as well. Right, so on this side we have to take the sprocket casing off, which will expose the oil filter housing, and then there's a little trick to emptying that as well. Right, that's coming off quite easy. Got a feeling that's, oh yeah, they do fit that, brilliant. So this is a T30 Torx bolt, Torx wrench, and there we go. Wow, look at that. We need to clean that out. We'll leave that bolt in there, leave that one in there too. Okay, we need to clean that out, definitely. So yeah, so I now need to take off these 3 bolts, but there's a trick to it and I'll show you in a second. Now, as you can see, if I take this out, there's an oil filter inside it, and if I take that off, it's just going to pour all over my engine. So BMW do actually sell a little funnel for this that fits under there, and the oil can pour off like that, but we don't have time for that, so I've just jerry rigged one out of the top of the bottle I've just cut off for the oil, so that's going to fit under there like that and help us with the oil. Right, so the oil pan's there. I'm going to take this one off first, and I'm going to take that one off and then that one last. I always take the top one off last. Now underneath this there is an O-ring, which you have to be careful not to damage. It's always better if you can get a brand new one, which I have done, but in a pinch the old one will do as long as it's not damaged. Alright, and here goes the last one. Shall we just crack the seal? There we go. And there it goes. Now you've got to sit here and wait till that stops dripping. Leave that there. I'll pull it any further forward. There we go. Perfect. Right, so there's the cover that's come off, and there's the O-ring that's around it, and it does look like it's all in good nick. So right now I'm going to pull out that filter if I can. Sometimes you might have to get a tool to it and just wrench it out, but most of the time it just comes out just like that. There we go. Get that in there because I don't need that no more. There we go. And then just let that drain, and then we'll clean out the residue. And happy days. Then we go for the bottom pan. Now to get under here you're going to need a 24mm socket. The bolt's just under there, oil pan underneath. You know the score, it's empty in there. Same way you do in a car, same anything. There we go, yeah, 24 bolt. There we go. All over my hands. Of course. There we go. It's all draining away now. Brilliant. Get that off there. We are getting taking you off there, mate. There we go. 3 lines all done. So I have put the sump bolt back in, so that's all bunged up now. I'm going to tighten it, then I'm going to put a new filter in, and then we're going to see about putting the new tank on and see if that makes a difference, and clean up this area as well because it's all a bit scungy. So yeah, just do everything in reverse and then put oil back in it. Should be good. Now when it comes to the oil, I'm not going to skimp. That is what I'm going with, 10W40, which is the recommended weight and brand for this bike. I've got the oil filter in, I've got the sump plug in, everything's buttoned up. This is the new oil tank. I've cleaned around as much as I can so I can see new leaks. Ow! And hopefully there will be none. So yeah, let's get some oil in it. Right, so I've run it up to operating temp. Everything's running well, doesn't seem to be any more leaks. The smoke from the exhaust has now burnt off and gone. There doesn't seem to be any more. So I think I'll ride it tonight. Right, so it's a different day. As you can tell, I am in different clothes. I have managed to drag the bike back out because we've got another problem. Now, in the first part of this video you saw me fix the oil tank. I did have an oil leak. It was from the oil tank. That is fixed now, no oil leak. But I took it for a ride and noticed there was still something dripping onto my exhaust. Turns out that oil leak was hiding a coolant leak, and they were both leaking. They weren't leaking from the same place, but they're both dripping from the same place, hiding each other. Little bugger. So yeah, bit more research done. Turns out that these bikes are quite prone to go where the oil and coolant seals are. I've ordered some, got them. We're going to change them today, and hopefully that works, because I need this bike on the road. I'll go get the seals. Right, well, you can already see I've already made a start. I've taken the seat off. Just about to remove these body panels. I'm going to get access to the coolant reservoir, which I'm guessing is empty now. And this, I don't know if I can show you right now, but this bloody tripod. This is the area I need to be in. There are bolts to take out, obviously. You take this one out first and it will drain the fluid. I have ordered some fluid and it has arrived, so yeah, we're taking all this area off today. That feels empty. Yeah, so I think all the oil's gone. The coolant's gone, sorry. So yeah, that is the right size. Let's see if I can crack this open. There's going to be a little bit of oil there, but it smells rusty. But that's what's been dripping, basically. Right, so I've cracked all the bolts. Sorry, this tripod is absolutely amazing. Right, I've cracked the bolts. As you can see, there's not much there. I'm going to undo the cap at the top to let any air flow in. It's completely empty. That leaked a lot. So yeah, let's take this out. Oh no. Okay, the impeller's good. Oh, it's very good. I shall address all that in a sec. Right, so we've got a gasket O-ring around there, which I've got a replacement for, and I'll get you a bit closer so you can see this impeller. So this is the impeller. It's got some gunk in there, but that's not bad. That's normal kind of build, but the impeller is in good nick and it's not rattling. To get this impeller out, what we need to do is knock that pin. I've got a feeling that I am going to discover some other problems here. Can I just pull that off? No. Right. There's the pin. The pin is out. The pin is slightly degraded. Come on, come on. There we go. So there. Put that to one side. And what happens with these is they wear. The grease that we put on wears out, like goes dry, and then you start getting wearing from the bearing to the seal, which wears through the seal, and then you start getting sealant leak out. There's one here, you can see that's the seal there, and then there's like a 2mm gap and then just behind it there's another seal for the oil, and I'll be replacing both. So yeah, let's get on with that. Now, to get these out, there is a way where you can just jab a self-tapping screw in and it'll wind itself out, but if I can help it, I'd rather get it out the nice way instead of having to, I mean, I might still have to get a screw to it, but I think I might, yep. So yeah, we had to go with the screw approach, and it's coming out now. There you go. Right. There's one, and there you can see the oil seal behind it. And there's the seal, look. If you can focus in on that. Yeah, both need replacing. See if I can get that out with it. Might be able to. Yep, there we go. That's the oil seal. Now there might be a little bit of oil come out, but very little. So yeah, let's get the new seals in. Now I actually thought to myself that I'd have to replace everything in here, but it looks like everything's actually in decent nick. A little bit of oil coming through, but that's good. There is a faint line there, but there's no pitting or anything like that, so I think it's just a case of clean them up and get them in. Now, these are the new seals. So that's brand new, look. I just want to make sure it fits. Yes, it does. And now I'm going to grease these up before I put them on. Right, an important step is down at the bottom here there's a weep hole, and that weep hole lets us know if we've got an oil leak, or sorry, if we've got a dodgy oil seal, or if we've got a dodgy coolant seal. So we need to stick something up there, you can see it in there, look, just to make sure that that is free and clear of stuff. We need that to be free and clear. There we go, that is nice and clean. And then we start with greasing up these new seals. And start with the inside. I don't know if you can see me. There you go. Just greasing up the inside of that joint. And putting a little bit on the outside as well. Yeah. And then kind of pushing it into place. That's the wrong way around. Damn it. That is the wrong way around. I'm going to turn it round to that there. There we go. And now what I've got is I've got a socket just to put on there so we can tap it into place. Push it as far as I can. Oops. Need to get this out of the way. Right, so I've just bunged that out of the way. Just get the socket on there. And that is in. So we will grease up the second one in exactly the same way. We'll get some grease on the inside first. and then smear the rest on the out. And that goes that way around, and then that should just push flush. I might need a little bit of a tap from that socket, but it should just be flush. There we go. That is now flush with that. There's no rocking around in that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make sure this impeller is nice and clean before I put it on. So I've managed to get the propeller back in and put the pin back in. It was a bit fiddly because I couldn't film it, and I did manage to cut my finger a couple of times with it. But now I'm just going to address this. I'm going to replace this O-ring. Hopefully get this out in one piece so I can possibly keep it as a backup spare. But yeah, I'm just going to get that out. And to do that, see if I can get in underneath it with a pick. There we go. It's nice and gentle, so I'm not just piercing it or anything like that. There we go. Slowly picked it out. And there we are. That's out of there now. Sorry if I'm not getting this on camera very well. But yeah, I'm going to give this a clean and then put the new one in. So here's the new gasket. Just slips right in there, just like that. I might even grease that up, I'm not sure. Oops. Yeah, let's grease that up just a little bit. Right, so down here you can see that bolt. I have unthreaded it, and what we need to do is pour coolant into the radiator until we see it come out of there, and then we're good to go. And it's just topping up. Right, so I've run the engine a little bit, I've topped it all up. I've accidentally put a little bit too much in there, so I'm going to get my little tube and siphon some of that out. But apart from that, everything's good. While I'm here, I'm also going to do the airbox, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to see if I can get to the spark plugs as well. So yeah, all is good. So if you undo this housing, take this off, that is where your air filter is, and I don't know what's happened to it there, but this looks mucky as hell, so I'm going to get this changed. And I've got a new one in the tool shed. Well, hopefully that is all that sorted now. There doesn't seem to be any leaks. I'm going to get all the body panels on, take it down to the garage and give it a wash, and hopefully that'll be the last of that. Yeah, thanks for joining me on this. Hi, now you'll have to excuse me, I have just woken up. It is a different day, and obviously I've got different clothes on, but I was editing the video this morning and realised I didn't do an outro properly. So I would just like to say thank you for sticking with me. I'm sorry this was a different kind of video. These are what I call slow burners. Thank you for joining me on the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing. If you haven't, please could you do so? It helps keep the channel going, and with the new YouTube it's a bit difficult at the moment. And you'll also notice that I'm starting to do shorts. Shorts have changed, so they're not affecting your long videos anymore, so I'm starting to do shorts again, so you'll see a lot more of me now. But yeah, please share this video, and thank you guys. See you later. Bye bye.